You don't see us?
Nope. Good
Oh,
morning,
great.
everyone. Good
It's gonna be one of those
morning.
days.
Happy
Morning.
Monday.
Morning.
Happy Memorial Day.
Oh shoot, I forgot to pull up the chat. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. Hopefully lots of things.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I don't know.
It is so
We
weird.
see you, or I see you.
Yeah, I never have any trouble with it.
That's
I don't
crazy.
understand. There's got to be something in there that's not. It's not working right, or something.
Yeah, there's got to be. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, it could have been an update in Hangouts or that they've done that doesn't work with some of the older systems. Impossible to know. As long as it works, it works. But...
Yeah.
Morning, Turtle Trader, Silver Hair Stacker, Larry. So it might be a light crowd this morning.
Yeah. Everybody, there are probably people that are sleeping in, and that may be out yard selling. I don't know if there's many yard sales this on Memorial Day or not.
I don't really think. To me, Memorial Day is not a big date to have the big sales on. Is like a Labor Day. Labor Day, you see tons of sales on. You know, auctions.
Oh yeah.
Flea markets, things like that. Memorial Day, I don't think really you see that. At least not in my experience, but
yeah. Morning, Tim.
Yeah, Labor Day is a good one.
Do I sound okay? Does Sally and Eric sound okay?
You sound okay to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Morning, Tim.
He says, Total Trader says he's an extra large. He's not light.
Oh my.
I'll go with that. I might have to put a few more X's in front of that L though for me.
Silver Hair Stacker says,
Comic-Con.
good morning, Memorial Day merchandisers.
It's not time for is it time for this for Comic-Con out in San Diego?
Next month, I think.
I said it. I mean, where are you at, Tim, that you have Comic-Con right now?
He's in Tempe.
Oh, is he? Okay, so it must be, okay, one of the local ones. Yeah, I got a buddy that sits on a lot of the boards out in San Diego, so he does a lot of the press and all that. So he goes every year.
That would be fun.
Yeah, he's been doing it for years. He knows a lot of the artists. He actually works for a museum in Baltimore, and it's the Gerhardt Museum. And they do a lot of, it's a modern museum. They do a lot of comic book and contemporary art and things like that. But it's mainly in that genre where, you know, they'll bring somebody's whole entire comic collection in. So you're seeing a lot of vintage and antique comics, you know, antique is in like 1930s and 40s. But they also have like a lot of original art and things like that. I think it's the Gerhardt Museum. No, again, I have to look it up. I can't remember what it is. It's in Baltimore though. It's a really fantastic place. I used to work with him at Ollie's. He was one of my assistant managers. Really, I mean, just super guy. Mike's a super nice guy, and it just wasn't suited for retail, you know. But he was always into Comic-Con. He always took Comic-Con off because he was going out there and he was sitting on panels and he was doing a lot of photography and taking pictures and. He's actually been used in a couple of comic books. They've used him. They'll dress him up and use him as a character. So they'll take photos of him dressed up in some of these things, and then the artist will work off of that. So I mean, it's just a
That was
really
cool.
cool guy. I really miss hanging out with him. You know, but yeah, he just wasn't suited for retail, which is great because it's not his forte. And he's at it's not. I have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look that up because it's a small museum, but it's just super cool. Oh,
Hi, Nikki.
oh.
Well, how's everybody's sales been this weekend? I,
Pretty-
I was I was hopeful that the sales would be pretty decent, but
He works at Geppi's Entertainment Museum. It's actually in Camden Yards. So, but yeah, it's a really cool place, and it's one of the things. If you go to Baltimore to visit, you're going to the to a game. Um, you got to go. It's a really cool place. They constantly change it out. So I'm on Facebook friends with him in the museum, so I see all the stuff they're doing, and he's got a fantastic. I mean, Michael himself's got a fantastic comic collection, and it's actually he's got a lot of rare comics and stuff. So I mean, just a really cool guy. But yeah, Geppi's GEPPI''S.
hmm.
But
Did
Yeah.
Jason go on a honeymoon?
he's on there right now.
Oh. Where did they go?
Well, they did a destination wedding, and it's in New York. It's not all the way upstate, but it's not New York City. It's 5 hours from from Philadelphia. So you figure it's a couple hours, 3 hours up in the. It's right up in the lake areas. He's right on a lake.
Hmm.
And it's a place where his family used to vacation at every year, and so it's something he was really comfortable with. And the place where they stayed at,
Okay.
really cool lodge. He shared some pictures of the lodge before. So he had the wedding up there on Sunday, which went off without a hitch, and then he's not due back until Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Oh, cool.
So he's taking 4 or 5 days. I mean, it was kind of funny. I was talking with his beautiful bride Jessica yesterday, and I said, hey, you got to hurry up, get back so Jay can get back to work. And he actually, before he left, he had over 500 auctions ready to launch, and he launched them all Sunday night.
Oh my God.
So
Oh,
while he's
wow.
up there, that's what she said. Now I don't know, because he said he was thinking about not doing it because he didn't want to have to worry about answering questions and stuff like that. So I hope he's up there for 3 or 4 more days. I think he is, but I'm just not sure. I can't remember what his schedule was, but
Yeah.
yeah. So he literally launched 5. He's going to be, if he hadn't done it, he's launching 500 auctions that's going to be what he's been working for all month. So
That's crazy.
Wow.
so all that leather stuff, all the tooling and stuff. I mean, now imagine 500 auctions ending on a Friday night, and you got to pack up everything by Monday. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, it's I mean, you should see him by the time he's done with that, because he has about an 85 to 90% sell-through rate on his
Yeah.
auction.
Right.
He's going to have 400 things to pack up. Now, the good thing is he gets a lot of combined shipping, so that helps. I mean, he says I get tons of that stuff, so he'll have 4, 5, 6 items going to the same person.
Right.
But yeah, it's a pretty interesting business model, and he does it all the time. He'll do 200 auctions at a time. So, but it works for him. And Jason does very, very well. I mean, he does better than almost anybody I know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of those guys that consistently is over $100,000 in sales every year. Yeah, but Jason's cost of goods is also pretty high too. So, because he has to buy, I bought a similar machine that he bought because he's teaching me about how this stuff works, and I had to spend $300 to buy the machine. So,
Right.
I mean, I don't know I hope I get my money back. Actually, hope I get at least double my money back. But he says I should get $1,200 out of it.
That's awesome.
If I spend $300 to make $1,200, he says I should get it fairly relative. But I'm going to do the Jason method. I'm actually going to throw it up for auction and try that out as well. So
Yeah.
it should be interesting. Now, I don't have this following, so that's going to hurt me a little bit. But he said this stuff was great. I need his help because I don't know how far I have to break this machine down. Because
Right.
I know I can break certain pieces down off of it, which is fine. But I don't know. There's some gears and stuff. Do I take it all the way apart, or if I just sell that piece by itself? I have to wait and see.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing 500 auctions in 1 month, in 1 weekend, packing that up.
Yeah, that would be a lot of work.
Jason primarily likes to break apart small lathes. And we're talking 7, 8, 9 inch or smaller. So usually, I mean, anything that he can kind of handle with just by after he breaks the machine up, picking the thing up. He doesn't want those big, huge industrial lathes.
Mm-hmm.
And he sells like all the
Mhm.
accoutrements that go with it, the chucks, all the tooling, everything that goes with it. But he'll break a machine down to where all he has left is the big bed. And he'll scrap that, or he'll even try to sell it if it's one that's worth selling. But
Yeah.
it's an interesting business. It's really cool stuff, and that's why I actually bought a bunch of stuff like that this last weekend with Jason's advice before he left on an auction. And so I'm gonna hold off until he gets back before I start doing anything with it, because I again, this is my first foray into this area, and it's just kind of interesting. And it's not like I'm taking business away from Jason, because it doesn't work like that. This type of stuff sells all the time. So
Right.
but yeah, it should be interesting. So, and it's fun. I mean, my daughter is actually really interested. She wants to help take the machine apart and clean it up and everything. So yeah, again, it's a learning experience. I may find out that I don't like it.
Right.
So, Tim says he found a new place called Gershel Brothers. That clothing selling needs, real cheap online. One in Arizona, one in PA. Gershel Brothers. Never heard of them.
Uh-uh.
I'll have to check that one out. I'll buy almost anything cheap. I don't buy a lot of clothing because I have too much to list, but I also don't list a lot of clothing. That's why I have a lot of clothing sold with too much to list.
Mhm.
A double-edged sword. The last clothing I bought, I walked into the thrift store to find some shorts for my son, and they were having a 10 for $10. You can buy 10 of any item in the store, as long as it was not a specially marked item, and they didn't. And this store does not have hardly anything like that. They had, like, their leather jackets were not allowed, but it was 10 items for $10. So I bought 10 pairs of Levi jeans. Figure I got $1 a pair in them. Now I just got to list them. Yeah, and I figure I'll get $15 a pair after shipping. I'll make $8 a pair on them. It's probably what I'm going to be at. I got, the sizes are okay, but they're not great. No real large sizes. And so I'll probably ask $19.99 and then take offers on them. But I know they'll ship for $6.30, whatever the added flat rate is.
$6.30, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the nice thing about that. I know my shipping costs. So my whole cost invested is going to be $7.30 after shipping. Not thing. No, I don't have any 50 by 32s. I keep those. That's my size. So, but
I actually didn't think that I would do very well this weekend. I hadn't listed anything since the beginning of the week. So I thought, God, my sales are just going to suck. And so Friday I didn't get maybe one sale I got. And then Saturday I didn't get anything. But then yesterday
went crazy.
it just took off without a hitch, and I got 5. So
nice.
I was talking to Valerie last night, and I sold another Butterfinger, and for $11. I raised the price $1 because I don't have any more coupons for those. So they're going to be 50 cents more. So I
Okay.
raised it $1 and I still sold it for $11.
Nothing wrong with that.
So,
That's awesome.
I did pretty good this weekend. I mean, not quantity wise. I've only had 7 sales over the weekend, but Friday was awesome. I ended up with over a $300 day on Friday. Saturday was slow. I think I did 2 sales for like $35, and then Sunday I did 2 sales, but one was a big sale. So I mean, I had like $130 on Sunday. So I mean, not a bad weekend. It's almost a $500 weekend. So I can't really. Friday is any. Those are after 4 o'clock. Because I held off on shipping and going to my post office until very late on Friday because it was a holiday weekend, and so anything that came in before 4 o'clock got packed up and shipped out already. So those are sales that aren't included in that. So I've had 7 sales since Friday at 4. So that's why I consider my weekend sales. Had one low ball offer this morning. That was it, and I countered it. He never came back. So
yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. And I was listening on Saturday. I didn't listen any Sunday. I was doing yard work and chilling. And then today I've got a lot of yard work to get done. But I'm gonna get this china. I have listed behind me, at least that. Which that stuff is actually fantastic for sales. It's $60 for a 5-piece setting.
Uh-huh.
And I have 5 of them. So. And then I have 1 4-piece setting because I'm missing 1 plate to make it a full 5-piece. So that'll probably be like $40. So I mean, I figure it's like $340 sitting on the table back there.
Nice.
It's really cool. That's the pattern.
And
it is Minton, bone china made in England, and it's Belle Meade is the pattern. It's a really nice little light blue flower pattern. And I was at an auction, and my daughter was there actually. She likes to go to auctions every now and then. And she was there, and I was in a different ring. I was trying to buy some other stuff, and then I heard them talk about this stuff, and I didn't even think anything about it because I don't usually buy that stuff. She happened to be standing right in front of the auctioneer because when one of the auctioneers, they walked out their tables, and she looked it up real quick, and she got it, and she bought the whole set for $30.
oh, cool.
So turning 30 into 340 is always a good deal.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
When I say she bought it, she bid on it, and I paid for it. So, but I trust her. She's got a really good eye. So.
Turtle Trader says Butterfingers are middle. Butterfingers. They're smoking hot jalapeno Butterfinger cups, and they cost well, the ones that I bought previously cost me $1 each, and I was selling them for 10. Now they're costing me $1.50 each, so I'm selling them for 11, and that's free shipping. So
what's your bottom? What are you making on those? What are your profit?
Well, if I pay $2.77 shipping plus $1, that's $3.77 minus 10, $6.23.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Oh.
Actually, it'd be 11, right?
I'm not going to be selling them for very much longer. I think I have 2 more here, and then I have a bunch at the store that I can buy if I need to or whatever. But I don't want to sell them for very much longer with it getting warm.
Yeah.
Okay, Gershon. Okay, now I know who it's Gershel. Is that what you wrote? Because I thought it was Gershon, but yeah, Gershel. That's actually, believe it or not, that's actually where Ollie's buys all its racking from.
Really?
Yeah, because Ollie's doesn't buy new racking except for if you walk into an Ollie's bargain outlet, you'll walk in and see the red racking,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff is brand new. That's where they put their carpet racks and their tables and stuff. But if you look at their gondola shelving, then that's where they get it all from, and they buy nothing but used stuff. So, and they have really good prices, and that's what they'll literally outfit an entire store with used gondola shelving. I know it was in PA. I just couldn't remember the name of the place, but yep. But yeah, they do all kinds of cool stuff. Mannequins. How much are mannequins? They got the half rounds, full body, slack form, head, alternative displays. That's what I want. Wow, that's a pretty good price. I don't know what that means, but do foot mannequins. All right. Half round display mannequins are $8 each for the men's, and the women's are $8. Wow. What's the shipping cost on something like that? Because that's always interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can buy them on eBay. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Didn't give me any shipping cost. They hit credit cards.
Wow, I thought those fossil ones went for more than that, Todd.
Fossil watches are pretty good.
Look, they charge shipping.
Huh.
It's totally done later, but that's still good for $7.95 for a hanging mannequin. That's actually a really good price. I'm actually more interested is they actually have the stands for their stuff. For like those hanging mannequins, it's like a pole that you put up, which would be awesome actually.
Good morning, Tracy.
How much is the adjustable stand? Wow.
Hmm?
You know, you can buy, because I mean, a lot of people have the half round hanging displays, but they struggle with how you're going to hang it.
Right.
And they have the adjustable metal bases for those, where you can kind of up and down with them for $22. It's a 13-pound box. So shipping for me from PA would probably be about $12. So you're in it for about $36. But just to have something like that would be a freaking lifesaver.
Right.
Ow, ow, ow.
That's awesome.
Good morning, another Jason.
Morning. Yeah, I think my total sales, I think I had 3 Friday afternoon, and then I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So I got 7
That's good.
so far. Not too shabby.
No, yeah, I didn't do too bad. Could have been worse.
Tim asked,
You could have not got shit.
Tim asked if we wash clothing before we ship.
Oh,
No.
actually, I started doing that on some items. Some items I won't, because some items are dry clean only. They're very fragile. You don't really want to, do anything like that. If you do suspect that there's an odor, or, there's they have a spot on it or something that that can come out, I would just suggest that you put it in the condition that it needs to be dry cleaned.
For
when
me,
they get it.
I don't wash clothing, mainly because I certainly hope that anybody who buys something used online is going to wash it before they wear it. So why double wash it? I don't sell anything with stains or anything like that. So if there's stains on it, I either redonate it or I throw it out. So I don't worry too much about that. I do not ship with any type of dryer sheet or any of that crap in a package. The only real problem I have no sense of smell. I lost my sense of smell in an accident, so I can't really smell very much. So yeah, for me, it's just I buy decent stuff and I don't worry too much about it. Now, like I said, I have a tendency to, if I buy from like a large outlet auction, I'll dry it all, and I'll use a dryer sheet when I'm drying it. But I snuggle or whatever the hell I happen to have in the house, but only because I'm making sure I'm debugging it, so just to make sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I don't wash most things. I don't like, because most of what I sell, like I said, I don't sell a lot of clothing and I don't list a lot of clothing, but most of what I have is I don't clean stuff up because, when you sell vintage and antique and interesting things, you don't want to clean it. You want the person to actually they want to get it in the condition that you're selling it so that they know it hasn't been messed with. There's too many things that can be ruined by cleaning.
True.
So I typically don't do that. Now, if it's dusty, I'll knock the dust off of it. But yeah, for clothing, nah. It's one more step in time. I have trouble getting my own laundry done. I'm not doing laundry to sell, so.
Yep.
Right.
And then also, if you use any kind of, your laundry detergent, a lot of people are allergic, and
yeah, I use allergenic detergent anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But
yeah,
you're better off just not buy good stuff to begin with that doesn't need to be cleaned.
Yeah,
that's the best way.
That's the key right there.
How do you change the batteries on the big-faced fashion watches? Buy a bigger tool. You can usually get those adjustable. I mean, I know Harbor Freight has one. There's an adjustable tool that'll adjust out like that far. So.
I don't know. I've never had to do that.
Pocket watches that screw off, you can do the twisty palm method, where you put like the face of the watch in one hand and you put it between it, and you basically just do a turn like that, and that friction will actually screw off a pocket watch. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, the other Jason, his wife washes the clothes before she donates them. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Really?
I've always done that. Because I'm usually donating after I've done my laundry, and I'm kind of calling at that point. I'm like, you know what, I got too much clothes. I need to just, as I'm folding, I'm like, I don't need this anymore. Donate it. So it's already been washed.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a big donator with stuff. Very rarely do I throw things out. It's got to be rough. Of course, I also have my clothes mostly have a lifetime, closet guarantee. They're going to stay in my closet forever. This shirt I'm wearing is like 17 years old.
That's because you're a guy.
Well, my daughter got it when she joined high school band. So she was a sophomore, I think, or freshman, and she's 30 years old now. So
wow.
maybe 16 years old. It's comfortable and it's one to just run around the house in. But it is getting a little thin.
Yeah.
It'll last you another 10 years.
Yeah, I actually, it was kind of funny. I went through my closet, I think it was last year, and I found I'll be 51 this year, and I found a shirt that I used to wear in high school still.
Oh my gosh.
My husband did that shit. He had like clothes from when he was 15, 16 years old, wearing it when he was 30. Like, it's time to get rid of that, honey. And it wouldn't have like deep wear in it, but like around the collar and stuff, there's little
Like little holes.
pinholes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when the shirts are just getting broken in. That's the whole point. I mean,
He was so mad because I threw his shit out.
you don't do that to a guy.
I know, he was
You
pissed
have,
off.
oh yeah, I mean, if something happened to the shirt that somebody had thrown it out or something and I didn't know about it, I'd be furious because there's nothing like the material feel of an old shirt.
Yep.
Right. And I like that too, but I won't wear it if it has holes in it and stuff,
Well, I'm not wearing it out
outside
in
the
public.
house at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wear it out in public. I don't really care. I mean, I get dressed a little nicer when I go out, for God's sakes. But that's why I do this job, so I can look like a fucking slob and not worry about anything.
Oh,
If we
that's
didn't
why
want to
you
do
do
the morning,
it.
if I wasn't doing the morning show, I'd probably still be in my underwear and a t-shirt. So I'm dressed up for the show. That's all I'm saying. So
No, it was something to wear, like the shirt that I only threw out one shirt, but it was like his favorite shirt. And he had gotten like blood on it or something. And it wasn't like a lot of blood. It was like he started to have a nosebleed and it just like dripped on his shirt.
yeah,
And
that's an experience state. And that's what
he
we call
was so pissed.
Yep, it's the experience. One of those life experiences that are left on your shirt.
That's right.
You want to remember that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
He
can't.
was, I couldn't believe how mad he got. And I'm like, fine, I'm never throwing anything away again, that,
When it comes to things like
belongs to
that,
you.
you have to. You can't do stuff like. I mean, you can't. You got to let him make that decision. It's time for it to go. I mean, it killed me to throw away that shirt from high school. I mean, it was a Beverly Hills Polo Club shirt. It was white with little blue things all over it, and I literally wore that in high school. I mean, I remember wearing it in high school, and
Wow.
I'm holding it up, and it is super, super. I mean, it's a white shirt. You hold it up, and you can see right through it. It's that thin, and it's got holes like the collars were
So
starting
you
to
could
pull.
probably like clearly see your nipples through.
I always wear an undershirt, so I never worry about that stuff like that. So even like today, I'm wearing an undershirt underneath this t-shirt. So
Oh, I see.
I'm a t-shirt person. I always have been. But yeah, it's just I can't. It just killed me to get rid of that because it was so comfortable.
Hmm.
But I'm that type of person. That's why I have so much trouble with retaining things because my own personal stuff. I don't like to get rid of anything.
Yeah.
So, and some of that comes, and I was talking with my daughter about that. Some of that comes from growing up super, super poor like I did. She was actually, she was reading or something or doing a study. I can't remember, maybe it was in college. She was talking about how they're kind of looking at people who grew up without any money and what happens to them when they actually start making money and getting a decent lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They go two ways, and the biggest thing that they do is if you grow up poor and you suddenly get money, you can't retain that money.
Right.
You have to spend it. You have to spend it because you're not used to it. And the other thing is, if you grow up poor, one of the things that they're going to know is almost to the dollar what's in your bank account, what's in your wallet, where your money is at.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're making really good money, you know almost exactly how much money you have. Hang on for a second. What you need, buddy?
Okay. Uh,
Mm.
go back. Todd Silverhair Stacker says, my normal attire is kind of like the Trailer Park Boys. And oh, Math Flunder says Ricky or Julian. Which they're Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there's quite a bit of a difference in between the way that they dressed. Turtle Trader says, if you get a priority package back that was supposed to be intercepted and sent to Arizona, the buyers was going to North Carolina to visit her mom but got sick. She did not come to North Carolina. Post office sent it back to me. Buyer still wants and will pay shipping. How and where? How do I charge her? Thank you.
Well, the first question is, did you pay for the intercept? Because the intercepts are not free.
Mm-mm.
If you paid for the intercept, which are very expensive, by the way, if you ever have to intercept a package, it's going to be pricey. So don't mess up on the first time. But if you pay for the intercept and it came back to you, then I would take my receipt for the intercept or figure out a way to show where I paid for it. You take that to the post office. So I paid for this to be forwarded to this place. See what they can take care of you. Otherwise, repackage it up and send it back out and not worry about it. I mean, it depends on what you have into the product. What in the world is Sally going to be munching on? Why do you have a dog? Why do you have a dog rocket in your hand?
I can't see anything, so I don't even know what she's got.
I'm eating jerky.
Sherry says, Sally, how big is that cup?
It's a 64 ounce.
Holy moly.
It's 64 ounce Big Bubba.
What's in
Big
it?
Bubba keg. Cappuccino.
Wow.
You're gonna be bouncing off the walls.
Are you eating your inventory, Sally?
No. Turkey sticks.
Her trader says she paid to intercept.
All right.
So,
I'll be right back.
so I would say she probably needs to go to where she paid to have it intercepted, and she needs to, let them know that it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Because something went wrong, and so I would assume that since it didn't get intercepted, since it wasn't done, that they probably will refund her, and then you can just go ahead and send the package to her.
Mm-hmm.
Again. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but I would think if the service isn't done, it's not
Right.
fulfilled, so she should get her money back.
Right. I wonder how much did that cost for her to have it intercepted? Hi, Megan. Hi, Matt. Hi, Jim and Tara. Yeah, you'll send the package again, and make a whole new tracking number and everything for it.
Yeah.
If the package came back to you, maybe you can send her a PayPal invoice for the shipping.
I'm not sure if Well, you should be able to send an invoice now.
Yeah. Jason says yes, you can do that on eBay. So
Yeah.
that's what we would do. Some of that shipping stuff that gets a little, you
Yeah.
don't quite know what to do or how to handle things. So I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, if you paid Intercept, I'd be mad. If she's responsible, I mean, if you charge her for the Intercept, she should be mad too. But otherwise, yeah, since she changed her mind where the package needed to go, then you just charge her for it. Send her an invoice for the shipping. Again, like I said, it all depends on how much money you have into it, what the product's worth. For me personally, if it was say it was a $50 sale and I spent $20, I'd say I spent $5 on the product. It's a $50 item. So I have $45 to play with roughly in there, minus fees and everything. So if I paid priority for $10 once, I probably would pay it again just to be done with it. Not worry about it, but that's just me. It all depends on what it's worth and how much you have into it.
How much does that intercepting cost, though?
It's pricey. I looked at it one time. I shipped a baseball hat, and the guy emailed me like 2 days after I'd shipped it, and said, "I don't live at that address anymore. I didn't realize it. Can you do anything about that?" I'm like, "Well, it's already shipped, so I'll look into Intercept." And it was going to be $17 to intercept the package.
Wow.
Wow.
Because you're stopping the package and then you're rebuying priority mail to a different area.
Right.
So yeah, it was kind of crazy. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it, but here's all the information so you can do it. And he tried it and then he emailed me like a month later saying he never got it. And I'm like, well, dude, I can't help you with that. I never got it back.
Right.
I wish they would, instead of doing an intercept, let me do a recall. I would rather have that set up, intercept and send it back to me, and then I'll take care of reshipping it out again. I would rather do it that way. It might extend the time that the customer gets it, but if I can get it back, then I'm the one handling the package then at that point.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
You have more,
Crazy.
you have more control over it.
Yeah, I would suggest never use intercept. If you ship it out to the address they want, and something happens to it, and it gets delivered, you've done your part. But buyers have a certain responsibility to make sure their addresses are correct.
It's true.
And believe me, when I had my eBay account hacked, they changed my address, so I had to go back and change all that stuff too. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they almost got a shipment of bubble wrap. Because I had my account hacked and I realized it because they tried to buy an iPhone with it, and I actually saw it in my cart, and I'm like, what the hell? So I was actually, they were literally on at the same time I was on. So I canceled I went ahead and dropped it out of my cart, and then I called eBay immediately. Actually, I went in and immediately changed my password.
Mm-hmm.
I called eBay and they double checked and said, yeah, it looks like somebody from, I can't remember where they said it, but it was what had gotten into my account. So that I changed my account password again. So that took care of the whole problem, and they locked down my account, and which was really kind of sucked, is that killed my sales for 2 weeks. I had almost no sales for 2 weeks because of that, because of how tight they locked the account down. And so I didn't think anything about it. So I'm getting ready to order bubble wrap one day, and I go in to order it, and it pops up with your address, shipping to this address, and it was some warehouse in LA. And I'm like, okay, I would have thought eBay would have said something about this, so I had to go back and adjust my address again. But yeah, that was a pain in the butt. And I have no idea how to hack my account. You can't guess my passwords, so no, I had trouble remembering it.
I hate that. It's so secure that I can't even get in there.
Well, I mean, my password is like 14 or 15 characters long now. It
Right.
used to be like 8 or 9 characters. So
Yeah, Megan
it's,
says, why wouldn't you just do the second address to begin with? I don't get it. She paid Intercept. She paid first shipping. Really wants the item, and she said she wants it and will pay shipping. Um, she'll pay for the shipping.
okay, but
$12.99.
it's not a very expensive item. So then, yeah, you should get it out to her and just bill her for the shipping. Say, here's the problem. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, if she paid for the intercept, I would be all over the post office going, I paid to have this intercepted. Why? What happened here?
Right.
I want that money back, or I want to apply that to my next label. But the problem is you do intercept online, and you're gonna have to go down and deal with your post office at your local office, and they're not gonna want to help you out.
Right.
So you're kind of you're gonna get screwed. Is basically what's going on. I mean, it seems kind of weird that she would pay shipping twice, now almost 3 times for a $13 item.
Yeah.
That just seems a little strange to me. But unless it's a sentimental buy. Morning, Angela.
Good morning, Angela.
Oh,
Trying to get some work done while I'm on here. So if I'm not talking, that's why.
all right. Yeah, but you have to talk because Sally went away.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, you know how she
Mhm.
is.
She went to feed her cat. She don't have, she doesn't have a cat.
The other Jason has a moral dilemma. He received a stereo back in the mail that he sold 6 weeks ago for $179. So they attempted delivery twice and customer never picked up at the post office, so they sent it back and nothing from the buyer. How much time do I would send one email and that's it? And they would have to pay shipping again. And if you don't hear anything back from them, you paid fees on that sale. So, and the problem is they could come back 6 weeks from now and say, hey, where's my damn stereo?
Right.
Or 6 months from now, they could even say that. So it's kind of one of those things where ideally you would refund them and move on, but you never know when they're going to come back and say, hey, I want my stereo. So I would send them one email and say, hey, got this back in the mail, or one message and say what's going on. If you'd like it, you'll need to hit me for shipping again. Yeah, it's hard when it's a big sale like that because you want the money.
Well, sure.
It is a moral dilemma.
Right. I mean, you want to do the right thing, but then you want the money too. I mean, you
Yeah.
went through it, you sold it, and
And you
you did
assume your customer wants the item,
right.
but you just
Yeah,
never know. So I mean, I would send one message and let it go at that, and just kind of tuck that away in a corner and kind of
that's what
forget
I would
about it.
do. Yeah, I just put it away, and that's something like that, similar. It wasn't as expensive of an item, but somebody sent me a pair of shoes. They had bought a pair of shoes and returned them to me, but they also so they returned those shoes. They returned another pair of shoes to me. And so I messaged them. I said, "Hey, the I'm assuming that they bought them from um,
Seller, yeah.
another seller, and just sent them to the wrong place." So I messaged them. I said, "Hey, I got these shoes. They're not mine. I didn't sell them to you," um, and never received any response to the message. Never. So I had them over in the corner for like 6 months, and just kind of waiting for somebody to say something. and nobody ever said anything. So, what do you do? I mean, there was nothing I could do. She didn't buy them from me, so I couldn't refund her money.
Yeah, 6 months is what I would say. Yeah. After 6 months, you can do whatever you want. I mean, Jason's asking
So,
the same thing. You message them right away, but they may be dead, which is quite possible.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
would wait 6 months on that
and
because, like I said, 'cause they can come back on 6 months within PayPal and do something. I mean, like I said, you could have turned around and sold it again, but that's something you kind of have to sit back and say, how long am I going to leave it for? You know,
right,
3 months, 6 months. I don't know. That's up to you. It's
yeah,
just understand that 180 bucks plus whatever shipping you charge, it may not be yours.
right,
They do a refund, you got the item back. So
yeah. There's always that chance that could happen. So, just kind of keep that in the back of your head.
as long as you've done your due diligence and everything.
Yeah. Let's see. I did message the customer right away, but they may be dead
Yeah.
for all I know. They may be dead. They may be in the hospital. They may be in jail. So there's a lot of
Yeah, a lot
different.
of ifs there. So I would at least wait a couple of months before I relisted it. I might even wait longer than that.
Yeah.
It depends on how big the item was and how much of a pain in the butt it was to have hanging around too. But yeah, I wouldn't, because I said if that customer comes back in 3 months going, hey, I saw that got sent back to you. I already paid for it. Can you please send it back to me? And if you sold it to somebody else, not only are you gonna have a pissed off customer, you got to refund them and everything, but you're also it's gonna look kind of crappy.
Right.
Are you finally back with us, Sally?
Mhm.
I hear her. I just don't see her.
Yeah, I'm here.
All that coffee, you're gonna take those breaks every 5 minutes now.
I know. I have to pee so often.
Let's see.
I wouldn't refund them yet because if you refund them, you're going to be out your shipping too. So I mean, I wouldn't refund right away because, like I said, why go through that hassle and then they turn around and they want it. They were in the hospital and they really want it, but they just couldn't pick it up. I would
No.
hang on to it for a few months before I did anything with it, and I probably wouldn't refund because I did sell it. I did everything. Yeah, so you're going to be out the shipping for a stereo. I don't know what kind of stereo, but you're going to be out shipping if it's a decent sized stereo, 20-30 bucks.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
for
Eric.
me, yes, dear.
I picked up a VHS recorder yesterday. It looks like a boombox. Let me get it.
I gotta see it. Yeah. VHS recorder. I usually don't do anything VHS. But old rock and roll tapes and old wrestling tapes are good. Well, that is interesting.
It probably weighs 25 pounds.
Sure. Hold it up again. So Mitsubishi. What's the other one? Is that a radio?
No. It is a video cassette recorder.
Okay, turn it. Do you have spots for two VHS or two types of tapes in there?
I don't think so. I think it's only one.
On the left-hand side, what is that?
It says, okay, it says power, video TV, channel, and eject.
On the right-hand side, what does it say?
The right hand side, it says fast forward, rewind, pause, record, play, and stop.
And if you push the eject button, what happens?
Nothing right now because it probably has to be plugged in.
That's an odd one.
I
thought it might be
know.
one that you could dub the compact VHSs onto regular size ones.
That's what I was thinking, like, because it has, okay, this side is for VHS.
Okay, and that opens up.
Yes. And then the other side, it just has like a drop down thing with a menu in here.
No, that's a standard VHS recorder then.
And then
is there a model number on it?
Yeah, it's
there's a
HS-700UR.
Apparently Mitsubishi made portable VCS. Oh, here's the exact one on eBay right now. They're asking $25 plus $13 shipping for it. So like $37 total. That's for asking price. There's also another one on there for $74, a little different style. Looks like a little newer one. And then sold. Jeez, I hate this new eBay format.
Manufactured date is January 83.
I'm having internet issues today. I don't see any in the solds at all. It's a portable though. That's the key with it right there. You're going to sell it as a portable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's no solds.
Great.
You know, I would test it if it works fine. Has it got a battery compartment?
Yeah, it has a portable battery.
Is it corroded by any chance, or?
No, it looks great actually.
Probably didn't hold a charge, but I would probably put it up for $50.
Yeah.
Best offer. I wouldn't auction it out because you're never going to make any money on auction. It's best you get is one bid.
Yeah.
But $49.99 free shipping. It's going to cost you, weigh it out and see what it costs. But
right.
It's not very big, so that's the nice thing, is so you can actually get it into a fairly decent sized box.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, you're going to have to test it.
It's got the audio, video.
Yeah, AV jacks. Looks like it also has, on the side there, it looks like it's got pins maybe direct in from a VHS or a camera.
Yeah, a camera and a remote.
Yep,
it has a female and a male.
Yeah, if it's working, I would put it up for $49.99 best offer.
Okay.
And if you want to charge shipping, I'd charge like $15 shipping on it.
It just looked neat for me. It just looked a little neat.
Yeah, I think it's. I've never seen one. I didn't realize it made a portable VHS.
Right here, it says PROG record.
Yeah, program record. It's just like a VCR except it's portable.
And then audio dub.
That way you can actually have a tape that you're recording, but you can also hook a mic up to it and overdub the recording as well. Kind of narrate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a neat little thing. If it works, you might hang on to it for testing VHSs.
Yeah.
You put it in your rockin' 80s room.
Yep. Whenever I picked it up, I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool stereo. And then I'm like, no, that's not a stereo at all.
I never knew they made a boombox looking VHS recorder.
It's weird.
I've been all over that game. So that would have been something I would have had.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally
I wasn't big into VHS, but that's cool. I would have liked to have had something like that.
Right.
I mean, my first VHS player that I owned personally was actually a VHS TV combination with a Harley Davidson brand.
Oh, wow.
That's what the rent-to-own people had. So it was a 25-inch TV with a built-in VHS. I paid
Hmm.
$400 for that thing.
You want to know how much I
Wow.
paid for my first flat screen? That was like, it was like really small. It was like 19-inch or something, and I think I paid 600 for it.
My first flat screen, here's kind of funny. I've been really lucky with TVs. My first flat screen TV was a 22-inch LG I got for free because I worked for Hastings at the time. So this is 2007. And we were building a store in Memphis, Tennessee. And we put in these video displays for people to come in and play video games and test them out and things like that. They built them, and then they came back in and said, oh, we've got a different system. We're upgrading you before we'd even opened the store. So they literally put them in, had it all built, and then the video game company sent out brand new systems. And so they pulled all these things down. So I had, and I said, well, what do we do with these things? Like, well, you do whatever you want with them. I said, I had 3 brand new TVs. So
Wow.
I took all 3. I kept 1 for myself, and then I used 2 in stores doing with public view monitors that I put up because we had some high theft stores, and I only needed 2. And I still have that TV, and it still works great to this day. The only thing I never got with it was the remote, which is not a big deal for that one. Then my next TV was Ollie's got some 32-inch TVs in, and my partner, my district manager partner at the time, had bought one, and he brought it back because all the inputs on the back stopped working. The only thing that worked was the HDMI input. And so I'm like, well, I'm cool with that. So I got that. That was a 32-inch TV I got for $50. And then my daughter, who did crime scene cleanup and stuff, she was actually at a house that a guy had killed himself. And some blood splatter hit their 42-inch TV and cleaned right off, but they didn't want the TV in the house anymore because it had some blood on it. So I've got a 42-inch TV sitting down here. And then the only other TV I've ever, since I have a 40-inch TV upstairs now that I use, because I took the 32-inch TV and I turned it into my son's computer monitor. And I bought a brand new 40-inch TV for like $199 or something at a Black Friday sale a couple years ago. So I've never had a big TV where, one of those 60-inch TVs or anything like that. My dogs don't need to watch, those shows in high def. So
We had a big one, and it lasted for a long time. We ended up selling it because we were moving. And the only problem we ever had with that TV, and we moved it from California to Michigan, was the lamp went out in it once, and I think it was $50 to replace that.
Was that a rear projection or one of those big huge rear projections? Was that one of those big huge rear projection TVs or one of those smaller?
No, it was smaller.
Okay.
It was smaller, but I think it was still 49 inches or something like that.
But it was one of the thick ones, right?
Yeah, it wasn't flat screen.
Yeah.
I was renting one when I lived in Arkansas because I had a nice mantle over the top of the fireplace, and I couldn't figure out which TV I really wanted to buy at the time. And so I was renting this. I can't remember what they were called. There was a certain name for them. They were the flat screens but they were decent size, but they were about that thick because they had a lamp in the back.
That's what mine was.
Ended up hating it because it was one of those ones where you had to be directly in front of it to see anything on the screen. And you needed a dark room.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember the name of those things, but yeah, so we ended up taking that thing back because it's like, this sucks.
Yeah, it lasted for a very long time, and it was good for, our family, but we ended up selling it because we were moving. But that 19-inch that I bought for like $600, that thing was a Sony, and it lasted until I sold it last year on eBay. And I think I got like, I don't know, 50 some bucks out of it.
Now I'll never get rid of until the LG, that little 22-inch LG breaks. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's sitting. Yeah. I'm not even using it right now. It's sitting in my eBay room because I was moving some stuff around. But I'm thinking about putting it up right above my on my on the wall back here above all top my screens and everything, so I can actually put it up if I want to actually watch TV.
Yeah.
Because the antenna system, because I don't use cable for TV, and I could actually hook it up and have the TV with news and stuff going on it down here. If I want.
Right.
I mean, I got 42-inch over there, but I never watch it either. So I just don't watch TV, so it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah. That's how I am too. The
Yeah.
only time I usually watch TV is if I go in the bedroom to relax or whatever, I'll lay down and watch some TV, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's just not a thing.
And even then sometimes we're watching it off of the Xbox or, on Hulu or Netflix or something.
Yep, I don't watch cable at all. I said I have Kodi if I want to watch something, or I'll wait till the season hits the internet and I'll download the whole season. Yeah, and I'm always 2 or 3. Like I said, I'm watching Homeland right now, and I'm on season 4 of Homeland, and I think
How you like that?
I was surprised. I'd heard it was really good, and it definitely is one that sucks you in and really keeps you glued to it. So, I burned through the first 3 seasons pretty quickly. So, but it's interesting. I love Claire Danes, but yeah, the show could be kind of annoying at times. There's a few times I almost gave up on it, but I was kind of bought into the storyline.
Yeah.
But I started to see a lot of the same old stuff over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her character experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, really, how long are we going to explore this arc?
Yeah.
So.
Other Jason, he said Homeland.
Yep. It's a Showtime show, or it's not Netflix. I think it's a Showtime show.
Yeah.
But I downloaded the first 6. I downloaded all 6 seasons so I can watch them. That's typically the way I do it. I don't watch live TV. If I'm going to watch something, I'll find it and I'll download a season. And if it can hook me for a season, I'll get the next season. And if I like that, I'll go to the next one. And I'll binge watch it.
Yeah.
Because my problem, I can't get committed to anything in a time frame like every Friday night got to watch a show. I don't live my life like that.
I only do when Walking Dead's on.
I've seen 3 episodes of Walking Dead, and I was done with it at that point.
Yeah. Some people just don't like it.
Turtle Trader says he uses rabbit ears.
I have a better antenna than that, but I have a pretty nice antenna. But it's an attic antenna. It's one you actually run up in your attic. It's about that long, and you can control it and turn it and everything. And I do have a Kodi box. I don't use the Kodi box that much because it's on my TV upstairs. Mainly because if I watch something on Kodi, I watch it down here at my desk.
Yeah.
I got Kodi on my computer, so.
Valerie got me into looking at these Fire Sticks that were broken.
Yep.
Because her daughter has one. Oh my God, that thing's got to be worth it.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, it's going to cost you about $80 to get one that's been jailbroken and set up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about what you would pay for having cable TV 1 month. It's people balk because I already got cable and now I got to get this, and that's another extra $80. But once you buy that, you can dump cable.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was a person, I never thought I'd be without cable again. I dumped cable once before when I lived in West Virginia, right before my wife's accident. And so my son was adjusting to without TV, and then suddenly throw that on top of him. So I got cable back. But now he doesn't even watch TV. He has his computer, he watches his YouTube, like that. He has Netflix on there, so he'll go in and watch a Netflix movie every now and then, but not very often. And I'll download movies for him to watch on his thing. Like I'll get, I'll wait a year or 2, and then I'll find like an animated movie he hasn't seen, and I'll download it. So.
The other Jason says we use a lot. We don't know what to call it though. My kids call it the illegal box, so I call it the legal box just to get them mad.
Right. It's not illegal for you to stream it. It's illegal for them to provide the content, but you're not breaking any
Right.
rules for streaming it.
That's funny.
But yeah, hey, you know what you tell your kids? You pony up the money for cable TV, and I'll get cable TV in here every month.
Yeah.
Or actually, I
That
want
won't
to
happen.
take the Cody box and move it into your bedroom and give them the antenna. So there you go. That's what you get to watch since you don't like using my illegal box. Yeah, I'm a big believer in, hey, my kids can have some say in my life, but you start calling me out on stuff, and I'm like, all right, hey, I'll do it legal. You pay the bill.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how fast they change their tune.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I grew up without cable, so I didn't really care if I didn't have cable until I was in the
Us too.
I don't think I got
We always had a console TV that had 3 channels and never a remote.
I had
So
cable
you had to
TV
get up off your ass and turn it.
I had cable TV for about 6 months when I was like 12. And then I didn't have it until 1985, till I was in my 20s. 85, 86. No, it's probably 86. Not married in 85. Yeah, 87. I'm sorry. 1987 is the first time I got cable, and that's only because I lived in a really old house that had broken into 4 apartments, and the neighbor was stealing cable, but he hooked everybody else up so nobody would actually call to get cable. So
That's smart.
Yeah, well, he was smart because he actually knocked on everybody's doors and, hey, just let you know the cable outlet's working. Now, we didn't, that was back before you had the boxes and all that stuff. And you could actually just, as long as you had a cable ready TV with it had the cable input, you would just use your up and down channels and you could find everything. And believe it or not, I was actually watching cable TV on black and white TV. So I had an old 25-inch black and white TV that had that input on it. That was before I got my Harley Davidson TV. So yeah, but I wasn't paying for cable then, and I didn't pay for cable until mid '90s. I never had cable until like really consistently until the mid '90s.
Yeah.
I just didn't have it. I mean,
we used to just go over to our aunt and uncle's house because they'd had cable, and we just watch stuff over there. That was the first time I ever watched MTV was at my aunt and uncle's house, and I think I was 12.
I do remember. I was at our high school, and the Air Force band had come, and they were putting on a concert at the high school, and the guy breaks into Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, and everybody's going crazy, and I'm doing, what the hell is this song? In my life? And people are looking at me like I got 3 heads or something because I didn't have MTV. I didn't even know what MTV was because I didn't have cable. I mean, I'm like, I literally had no, and I was a sophomore in high school, and I had no idea what the song was.
Literally, this is how what can I say, like just very naive I was when I was 12 and we would watch MTV at my aunt's house. First video I seen was Thriller, and it scared the shit out of me. I
remember Thriller came out.
I never watched scary movies or anything like that, and so it's literally scared me to death. Like, I was afraid to watch the whole thing, and I would cover my eyes in certain parts, especially when he turned into a zombie. And yeah, I was very afraid of that video. But then, the more I seen it, the more I liked it and stuff like that. But at first, it really got to me. I had nightmares and stuff.
Yep.
I was at that time.
Yeah.
Good old days.
I didn't grow up with a video game system. I grew up with Pong. That was my video game system. Because my dad, I grew up with computers. So we didn't buy gaming consoles. My dad would buy a computer. I mean, I grew up, my first computer was 1978, 79. It was a TRS-80 Model 1 4K. So, I mean, I grew up programming on computers.
Yeah, we had Atari, and we had what was it? Compaq, or is it Compaq?
I don't know.
Compaq did come out with computers back then, but it was more like in the mid '80s.
I don't know if it's that I was thinking of. It was like an Atari, but it wasn't called an Atari.
Oh,
We had we had an Atari at one time, and then my dad sold it, and then because he would buy things at flea marts and stuff, and then bring them home to test them, and then he would sell them at the flea marts. Well, so we got to play them for a very limited amount of time, until he sold it again. So we were testing it out for him.
my first gaming console that I ever owned in my household was a Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I think our first one was like for my brother to keep. He got a PlayStation, no, a Nintendo. Nintendo was the first one.
I skipped all the Nintendos. I went from Sega Genesis, and I bought that as an adult for my kids.
Oh,
it wasn't for me because I mean I don't play video games, so they got that as a game, and then they graduated from that to I think it was a PlayStation 1, and that was after I was divorced, and so I think my ex-wife bought that for them for their house.
yeah.
And honestly, until my son got a Wii, I hadn't had a video game console in the house from a Sega Genesis to a Wii.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't play games, so for me it's not a big deal. I could really care less. But my son's had a Wii, and now he's got a Wii U. So
Todd says he grew up with a stick and rocks.
That's kind of how we grew up too.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, until my brother was old enough to play games, we didn't have, we were outside playing.
Yeah, it's go up and touch mom on the shoulder and tell her you're going to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning because the sun's up, and you're going to go play ball.
Yep.
And that's how it was. I was a huge baseball player back then. I mean, I literally would grab my ball, my bat, my glove. We'd have a standing game at our local sandlot, and we would play from 6 o'clock in the morning till probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
We played school.
I don't know why.
I don't either.
The girls are lame and boys rule.
Oh God, here we go.
I mean,
yeah,
how bored do you have to be on in a Saturday morning, be playing school when you're out of school for the weekend? As it had to be boring.
Yeah.
My dad worked at a paper company, so we had all these not forms, but paper that like blocks of paper that he would bring home, and we would write stuff out on it, and act like we were either playing school or playing office. I know, lame. Yeah. Sue says I played school too because I could be the teacher.
That was a weird thing though, was that when Sally, so she was 7, I was 13, so by the time she was in that age of playing school and whatever, I really wasn't into that. So it was mainly just you and the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said played baseball, and somebody mentioned catching what they say something bacon or something, I can't remember. Catch crawfish. To me, they were always crawdaddies. So go catch some crawdaddies, and we had a little local creek that we'd go down and we'd catch them, and we didn't fish for them. We just reach in and grab them. I mean,
yeah.
No fishing or anything. We just jump right in and go after them. Stuff like that. I mean, we'd go fishing. There's a local pond. There's a little bit of hike to get there, but if you had bikes or something, you go fishing.
Yeah.
But that type of stuff was a blast. It really until I got until I got a car. All that stuff went away once I got a car. And actually, I stopped playing ball when I turned. Actually, I played when I turned 16 because I went to work. So I kind of gave up all sports and all that stuff just to start making money.
Right.
But really, I was really into baseball I mean, I played serious baseball from like 10 to 16. I played high school baseball, but I gave all my sports up because I needed to make money. Because I had cars to support and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
I had a moped when I was 13. That was awesome. Moped
I
was
bet.
great. That gave me my love for the open road. So
Yeah, I remember Jason. He says that was better than the monkey bars over the concrete. Remember, Sally? Yeah. I
That was
had
so
freaking
stupid.
I had, I had burns on my face, concrete burns, because
Oh,
I was going doo, 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 doo on the monkey bars and then went scraped my whole face.
the thing I
I
like to play on,
remember.
they don't have anymore, which is that big metal cage that you would climb. And now you
Yep.
can't have something like that because my brother's a perfect example. He got up from the top and fell off and broke his wrist, but
Yeah.
he was a quitter.
That was
But
that was over concrete too.
oh yeah, well actually the one he fell on was actually in a over the cinder block, the cinders, kind of like mulch, but it's actually the cinders stuff that they put down.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
But he has weak wrists. He broke both his wrists throughout his, and one of them twice because he's got real thin wrists and everything. But yeah, those are the best stuff. I mean, if there was no sense of danger in it, who wants to do safe stuff? I mean,
I
you play
remember
games
I
like
was riding on Valerie's handlebars once and she hit a bump and I went flying and I had this knot on my head that stuck out
Yeah.
about, I don't know, 2, 3 inches.
I was playing throwing a baseball and it was a little too late and I couldn't see the ball very well and I went like this and the ball came over and went had the outline of a ball with you could actually see the threads on the knot on my head because it nailed me in the head so bad.
Oh
My
my
God.
God.
Might have been my first concussion. I don't really know. So
Yeah, me neither. I
yeah,
mean,
I worry
I
about
fell
stuff
out
like
of
that. I
trees and stuff too. I've
never.
never broken a bone though.
I've never.
It's a wonder.
I broke this finger one when I was playing baseball. I slid into second base and got my finger in the metal spike and it snapped the finger. But aside from that, I've never broken a bone. But I've had like 7 concussions over my lifetime. So
Well, I probably had a few too, but we never went to the hospital or doctor for any of them.
I've only gone to the hospital. Been to the doctor twice for concussions. The first one I got was playing soccer because I grew up playing soccer. I didn't play football, which I kind of wish I'd reversed that. But I was playing soccer, and me and another guy were run up on the ball. We both kicked the ball at the exact same time, so the ball doesn't move. Yet we went and it just tattooed each other, and we both went down like this.
Oh my
My dad
God.
took me to the hospital. I got up and when I get hurt, I get mad. So I got up and I was walking around, but I was just so disoriented. My dad took me to the hospital, and it turned out the other guy that I hit was basically unconscious, and they called the squad for him. So the game was delayed for like 25 minutes while they took care of him. But I was off to the way of the hospital. I had broken my nose right down the middle, and then I got the concussion. That was my first real concussion that I can remember. But I've been punched in the head and I got a concussion at work one time catching a shoplifter. I've been in several car accidents. Yeah, so I've had my fair share. Gave myself a concussion once, knocked myself out once. Things like that happen.
Had plenty of curling iron burns on my neck and
Oh my gosh.
stuff. Yeah.
My forehead.
Yep.
The hot metal slide. That's the one that I remember the worst was the hot metal slide.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go slide. And you slide down that thing with a pair of shorts on, and you just realize you're sliding in a freaking frying pan. I mean,
Yeah. It's
Yep.
104 outside, and you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Your legs look like bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Sue wants to know about my wood look background. I use that for clothing. I don't use it for smalls, although I could. I choose to use just a plain white for most of my smalls. Um, I bought that off of eBay. It's a vinyl. It's 5x7, I think it is. It's like $12 or something like that. I like it because it's a little different background for clothing. It kind of makes the clothing really pop out when you have something like that. And I know like Jen Bennett uses a brick background. I just like it. You know, a white background is fine, but I never have to worry about it. I don't edit any photos at all. I make sure my photos I take are good enough that I don't worry about editing.
Right.
So, and especially since I've gone to that background, it really does. You don't really have to edit anything out. So, and my light kits, I can pull them apart, hang my clothing on a mannequin, and just use that. What I do is I pull the white part down because it's just held up with thumbtacks, and I pull the white part down, and then I can just put my clothing mannequin right there.
Worse than that, Tracy. How about 2 or 3 pieces of Hubba Bubba or the Big League Chew stuffed in your mouth, and then half of it goes down your throat and the other half is in your mouth, and you don't know whether to try and choke it up or swallow the whole thing.
Oh my
I remember
God.
Hubba Bubba. That's crazy.
Ugh.
Is that even around anymore? Hubba
Yeah, they
Bubba?
still have it. Yeah.
I always liked, my favorite gum was the Fruit Stripe.
Yeah, Fruit Stripe is really
Fruit
good
Stripe
too.
gum.
Yep. Yeah.
What about the candy cigarettes?
Oh,
Oh
I remember
yeah.
those. Those are great.
Uh-huh.
God, can't have those nowadays. And you could blow on the puff of get the puff of sugar to come out, so it looked like you were actually smoking.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That was the thing.
Yeah, somebody mentioned the Boston baked beans. I love those.
Oh, those were good too. Yeah.
Pop rocks. I think you can still buy pop rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you
have
can.
them.
They still make them.
Yeah, tea berry chewing gum. I always had the Big Red. Big Red was good. I was a big baseball card collector back then, so I always had gum from baseball card. I'd have stacks of baseball card gum, which it's like the worst gum possible. But it definitely that flavor brings back memories. Believe me.
Sure.
Um,
Oh gosh.
I'll tell you what, Jason. Jim wants to, when he pulled the video down, he decided to not worry about it, so he just took the whole thing down. So he doesn't want to. He's just done with it at this point. It was a bunch of YouTube drama, and I don't do drama. I know Sally and Val don't do drama, so it was just kind of like Jim was pointing something out. It wasn't Rockstar. Tell you that right off the bat. So he's done with the whole issue. So basically, for as far as I'm concerned, I mean, if somebody brings it up, that's fine. They can ask, but nobody's going to really say anything anymore about it.
No.
It's silly stuff, and it's just time to be done with it. Let's all focus on our businesses and not worry about it.
Yep. That's what you got to do.
Ooh, trampoline! I never had a trampoline growing up. I would have liked that. I think.
Oh, I think we would have broke some bones.
Yeah, he was. I will tell you, he was not talking about Rockstar. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
He was talking about somebody else, and it had nothing. It was just pointing out something that he found. It was more ironic than anything. And Jim had been trying some. People love to hear him rant, and after he had done that, and he didn't get much blowback on it or anything like that. But he just kind of sat back and said, what, this is really kind of. I'm starting to rant about other people's videos, and it's really kind of silly. I think he's more looking into. I mean, Jim used to be a comedian. I used to be a stand-up comedian, and so some of that stuff he does because it's more of a routine for him, and so he's kind of getting away from that stuff. So take him at his word. He's going a different direction, and it's not worth it. It's not even worth giving 5 minutes to. That we just did. So, hell yeah, trampolines are dangerous. That's why they're fun. Oh yeah, I remember back then you have your knees would have holes in them, and so your mom would throw that big old thick iron-on patch onto it. And then when I got into high school, everybody started to wear the ripped jeans. That was cool. And I'm like, you're supposed to patch that stuff. I remember those patches because my mom would do them on the inside.
Yep.
And so you'd have that patch rubbing on your knee. And it certainly
And it
didn't
was
break in like a pair of denim, a set of denim would.
no. It was a lot thicker, and I don't know. It almost felt like you were, you stuck out like a sore thumb because you had that big patch on your, and people could see it. They knew you had a patch
Oh
on.
yeah. Yeah, those are good old days.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind going back to the 70s again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
pre-cable,
fun was over.
pre-internet. That would be kind of relaxing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, Tiffany hits it right on the road. If you see something somebody doesn't agree with you on YouTube, just don't watch them. That's
That's
simple.
it. That's it.
I don't watch
I
anybody.
mean,
I hate this, but I don't watch anybody's videos. I don't have time. I mean, my video time is spent here on the morning show usually. That's the time I dedicate to
right,
YouTube, and that's it. I just don't have
right,
time to watch things. Now, every now and then I'll throw one on if somebody puts up something and say, hey, that was a pretty good video. I might listen to it, but I don't mess with it otherwise because I really don't care. I'm not
right.
a, I'm about as drama free as you can possibly get. If I see drama, I'll get away from it.
Yeah,
I don't understand that whole lifestyle. I don't watch reality TV. I'm not a big reality TV fan, so that probably means why I don't like the drama thing. So
yeah.
we got rain boots and the raincoat, the giant yellow raincoat. And with the rain boots that you had to pull on
Mm,
over your regular shoes that never really kept the water out, but you walk around with these goofy galoshes on. So
yeah.
yeah, lawn jarts are not allowed to be sold nowadays. They're actually been recalled and it's illegal to actually sell them. So you can
Yeah.
give them away. You're really not even supposed to sell them at yard sales because they are deemed very dangerous.
Really? Hmm. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Tiffany, you're free to unsubscribe from Jim. He understands that, and just understand that there's a lot of backstory behind his rant videos that most people don't know, and that's why he decided to get away from them because he's sitting and ranting about stuff that people don't understand the whole backstory, and so it was
Right.
just easier not to do it anymore, and that's what he's doing now. So, but again, that's the whole point, Tiffany. You did the exact same thing. If you don't like what somebody says, unsubscribe. I subscribed to a bunch of YouTubers, but I never watched their stuff. And I did it back when I was first getting back into eBay and I was trying to watch and learn different things. Um, and so now I don't watch any of them. I see that the notifications come up and I really need to go through and just clean out my subscription list. But every now and then someone throws up something I might be interested in. I like seeing haul videos. That's my favorite thing. I like seeing what people bought. I don't
Right.
watch clothing haul videos or the Goodwill outlet haul videos because it's 90% of the time it's clothing.
Right.
Give me a storage unit haul video or give me an auction haul video. I'll watch that. I'll watch those because I'm learning stuff.
Hmm.
Those are the ones I like to watch because I see different things and unique things, and everybody gets different stuff in different areas of the country. So those are fun.
Yep.
Um, I would rather watch that than anything. But see, to me, that's the same thing as watching American Pickers, Pawn Stars, um, Antiques Roadshow, because all that stuff, even if you don't retain all of it, if you retain a little bit of that knowledge, will help you when you're out there. There's nothing like seeing something new, because I actually did. I was actually at an auction, and American Pickers had done a show where they were talking about this toy, and it was a metal die-cast metal car toy, and it was from the 60s, and it was a concrete layer toy. And they were pointing out it was worth about $125, and I found one in an auction, and it sold for like $75, and didn't really leave a whole lot of room. But if I could have got that for $5 or $6, I knew what that toy was worth. In other words, I would have ignored it, but it was a unique toy. So I mean, that's the type of stuff you see every now and then, and bam, you're good. Jordache. You know how Jordache got its name, don't you?
Nope.
There was when the two guys that developed Jordache jeans, when they were putting it together, they're Middle Eastern, and when the first guy put the pair of jeans on, the guy says, "Oh, you no, I see Jordache when you wear those." So, bad joke. That's a dad joke. But
Hey,
no, I remember Jordache because wasn't that Brooke Shields' first the
I
big
think
controversy over her was Jordache jeans, and she
I
was
think
like
so.
13 or 14.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you see jars all the time, but don't buy them. It's a waste of money unless you want to play with them. But yeah, I would never buy a set of jars. Like I said, they're fun to play. I like playing with them because I grew up playing with them. I mean, we weren't stupid enough to play, catch with them. So, but I imagine vintage Jordache would probably be pretty good.
Oh yeah. I had a pair of those. The thing is about us, we weren't we weren't poor. We were middle class, but we lived poor. We lived like we were poor.
I was I grew up middle class until my parents got divorced. Then I was dirt poor. When you have two parents that are fighting over child support and house payments, and yeah, I grew up dirt. That's kind of why I stopped playing sports and went to work. Because if I wanted school clothes, I had to buy them. If it got to the point where if I wanted to eat, I was the one buying my own food. I mean, I grew up dirt poor. So,
Wow.
I remember when I
I
was a
worked
kid,
without
we
electricity many years. I didn't have electricity from the time I was 14 till the time I went out and got my own place. So,
Wow.
I grew up super, super poor. I had a very nice house, but we had no electricity in the house.
Yeah.
So, and what's is really funny is how you think about how stuff like that shapes your life. In my house right now, I've got oil lanterns and oil. I have alternative heat because I grew up without any type of heat. I had a fireplace. That was it. Because I'm just so paranoid about that stuff, and that's the first bill I pay every month is my electric bill.
Right.
And then I pay my gas bill. I mean, those are. I grew up without running water. You know, I had a great house, but you can't pay the water bills.
Yeah.
You grow up
Ain't
without
gonna
stuff
do you a
like
whole
that.
lot of good.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, that's why I have such a weird sense. And when I say, as I was talking about earlier, when I was talking with my daughter about how if you grow up really poor, you have a tendency to hoard, and you also have a tendency to know exactly how much money you have. I know to the dollar how much money I have in all my accounts right now.
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to hang on to stuff. I don't move it as fast because I own it now, and it's hard for me to break free of that I own it to selling it now because I never owned anything when I was younger
Mm-hmm.
because we never had any money to buy anything. Yeah, I didn't even have the luck of an outhouse or a water pump. I had to if I wanted to take a shower, I had a membership at the local what do they call them, sports club where they did racquetball and there's a weight room and stuff like that, and that was right down the street. So 3 times a week I'd go down there and take a shower. Just bathroom, you'd run to the local gas station. Thank goodness I had transportation. I mean, it
yeah.
never bothered me. When I was growing up, it never bothered me. You don't think about what you don't have.
That's true.
Yeah, actually, the only time I
Unless you're
never.
criticized for not having it.
Yeah, see, I never had any problems with that because my friends knew they didn't have any problem with it. It's not like I hid it or anything. The only problem I ever had with it was my assistant principal. I'd gotten in trouble at school for something, and I can't even remember what it was, but my mom had to come down, and they were furious that we didn't have a telephone. And my mom's like, "I'm sorry, is it illegal not to have a telephone?" And the guy's like, "Well, most people do." She says, "Well, you know what? We're not most people." And she lit into that dude, and they totally forgot what I was in trouble for, and it was a huge argument between her and him over having a telephone.
Wow.
And when I got in trouble, I mean, it was very minor. I think it might have been something about I missed a day of school or something like that, and I forged my mom's signature, which she was totally cool with because she would never sign a note. So from the time I was in like 7th grade to the time I graduated high school, any type of note had my signature on it, signing her name. And she'd always back it up. She got called. I think that's what it was. She got called down, and they didn't believe it was hers. And she said, "That's my signature. What's your freaking problem?" And my mom is a little fire plug, so Oh yeah, that's sometimes. I mean, kids. Everybody grows up different, and you really can't judge people on how they grow up. So I'm a little bit more forgiving of people who have bad backgrounds and they turn out not the greatest.
Yeah.
Um, it's just one of those things. I mean, I said, it is what it is. Your life is what you make of it. Yeah, I had paper routes I had a paper route started when I was like 10. So I always had a little bit of money coming in. And then I actually started umpiring when I was 13 at the local league. So I was playing baseball, and then I literally would get out of my baseball uniform, throw my umpiring uniform on, and go out and umpire. And I umpired all the way up through high school ball. I love doing that. That was a blast. Um, and I actually stopped playing baseball and I umpired in the summer. And I get $8 to $10 a game. So it wasn't a lot of money, but on a weekend, you could do 3 games because they play 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 5 o'clock games. And so I would do 3 games a day. And then it got to the point where, because we had a girls softball side, we had a boys baseball, and I jumped over the girls softball, and me and another guy, we ran the girls softball umpiring side of it. So we had didn't have many girls playing as we did have boys playing. So we only had like a team of like 8 umpires, but we had all the scheduling and all that type of stuff. So,
Hmm.
So I've always kind of been a manager.
That's neat.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't worry about it. I don't blame my parents. I'm still got good relationship with both my mom and my dad.
Well, no, because you're the person that you are today because of it.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, there's some people that have some real issues with their parents, and I get that. Yeah, and that is if you live in the city and pay for water and have it cut off, or do not pay, you can't. You have to they make you vacate. Yeah, like a lot of places make it illegal to not be off grid. So if you have an off grid system for your house for electricity, you still have to be tied into the system. Same with water and sewer and all that. Because I mean, now where I live at, I couldn't have a septic system. But you go far enough out, and people still have septic systems. But when they bring water in, they want you to tie in. Most places initially don't make it illegal, but what they do is they incentivize you to make it almost crazy not to, because when they're first laying the pipes in, they want to tie into your house, and so they give you such a good price, and they tell you what it's going to be. It's like when I lived in where I was growing up, we first tied into the sewer system. I had a well, we had a cistern system as well, and then we had a leach bed and the septic system. Well, they brought out water. They finally brought in city water to us, and to tie in at that time was like $800 to the system. And they would actually do lay the pipe and everything, go right to your house, tie the whole thing together. Afterwards, they said, if you don't tie in while we're initially laying the pipe, we had the equipment down there and everything, it was going to be like $5,000. And so they made it an issue to where it was made more sense to do it right then. And the problem is, though, is suddenly you pay $800 to save $4,000, but now you got a $40 bill.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you have to kind of decide what you're going to do. But I can live off grid, no problem, because I grew up that way. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to be not all the way off grid, but I would love to be, not dependent so much on everybody else for my electric and water and sewer and gas and all that type of stuff. So. But I think that would be an okay thing. But my business now depends on me being on the internet, having electricity to run the computers and lights and all that stuff. So I mean, it's a pipe dream. It'd be fun.
I think I'm going to set up another hangout after this on my channel. If anybody wants to subscribe to me, it's the Upside Down Picker.
Yeah, you gonna do some work today?
Oh, yeah. I've been making listings since we've been on. I made like 3.
I've got 18 drafts. I just got to put pictures on. I started to do a new method for listing.
Oh yeah.
Because the way I buy stuff, I buy it in large lots. I've got 4 totes of stuff down here. And so I have to research it to find out whether it's not worth listing. Because when you buy a large lot, you don't know if everything's going to be worth listing. So what I've been doing is I research it on eBay. Well, if I find it and I like the listing, I've just been saving it right then as a draft. And then I put it away. So that way I know everything I have. So then when I go back, I don't have to re-research. I'm cutting out the secondary research.
Mm-hmm.
It does not necessarily any faster, but it's just making me, it incentivizes me more because the listings are pretty much done. I have to go in and have to do a couple tweaks on the titles and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
stuff I normally would do. But now I'm not doing that secondary research.
Yeah, that's basically how I do my stuff, Eric. Especially like video games and stuff like that I know is going to have a listing for it. Clothes is a little bit different, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the same thing with clothes if you find
But
that. When I do
yeah,
clothes, like I'll find a good Levi jeans title, and I like the title. I don't really worry about the rest of the thing because I'm not worried about the pricing or anything like that. I just want looking for a good title, but I don't really need to research Levi's jeans. Most of the
right.
stuff I'm researching, like, is it worth listing a little AM/FM fast forward eject car stereo? I didn't know, but I got like 4 of these at the auction. They were actually, I was buying telephones, um, and you end up with crazy CV radio mics like this and stuff like that. And is this stuff worth listing? And so as I find it, yeah, cool, it looks pretty good. So I save the listing now, and that way
Yeah.
I don't have to do. I know it's worth listing.
Yeah.
But like with clothing, it's not as important because the value of the clothing. I mean,
Well, yeah, and
you're not
like
typically buying stuff that you don't know what it is with clothing.
if like I look at first, I look for a listing first that I like, the title I like, and then I look and see what the solds are. And if that same title has sold for like, the best amount, I want the one that sells for the best amount. That means something usually,
Yeah,
so
the title was good enough to get you into a top search. Now it could also be the type of clothing or whatever it is, but
so that's 2 of the things I look at. And then I do the same thing. I'll save it, and then if I have a bunch of stuff together, I go through and just and list it like
make
that.
put a comment in the chat, Sally, so they can go right to your name by clicking on your name.
What?
Comment in the chat. They want you to comment in the chat so they can click on your name for your to get to your channel.
Oh.
Just say hello.
Hello.
I get that, Jason. My desk. Yeah, you would not believe my desk pile how big it is. So. Yeah, there's a community yard sale next weekend, and I'm thinking about taking a bunch of stuff out and just put it on some tables and let them make offers, because everything I own in my desk pile is owned free and clear. Because I buy it in large lots and then I sell enough out of the lot to initially pay for everything, and so I don't have to worry too much about what I have in my pile. So that's how they get so big when you don't have any money really left in them. It's all free money. So if I get $1 an item out of there, I'd make good money off of it. But
Grandma Wrinkles, if you go over to the side, not the side where your picture's at, or where the pictures are at in the chat, but the other side where there's 3 dots, that'll come up, and you can click on that, and it says go to channel or report.
I didn't do that. She got it.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever.
Thank you.
But yep. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about doing that because I've got all those dolls, and out of that whole auction, I've already sold enough, so I own like 4 totes of dolls free and clear.
think you'll report, huh, Todd? How about I report my fist up your ass?
All right, we're not going to talk about people's persuasions here.
He told me he was going to report me.
Yeah, but you're offering something he would normally pay somebody $100 for. Okay, you're giving to him for free. So
No doubt.
oh yeah, I've got a 5-foot tall shelf full of slides that I need to do something with. So they just take up so little space though. It's just one of those things that, I mean, it just sits there. It doesn't bother me, and I just need to get to it. And I bought all this stuff recently. I want to get it up because I got to get my money back on this auction before I can move on to the next one. So I got the ion scanner. Yeah, I got to make that money back for slide scanning. That's one of the first things you got to do. So
I went cheap and got that little, whatever you call it.
I think it works just fine. It does a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
You take a photo of it right there,
Mm-hmm.
and it does a decent on the photo.
Oh yeah, it's not bad at all.
And what Sally is talking about is
I can't remember the name of it.
mine is the Agfoscope 200. It looks like that.
That's exactly what I have.
It slides in and out, and it actually projects the slide out and it magnifies it. It's a little light bulb behind it. It's really simple. You can get it for what, $12, $15 on eBay.
Yep. I think I paid
$5.99 at the thrift store.
I paid $8 for mine.
For me, I don't use it to take my photos and have scanners, but I use it because this way I can go through a stack of photos really quickly.
Yeah.
Good, nah, good. You know, it helps me sort my photos a lot faster.
Yeah. The only thing that's time consuming for me is like knowing whether they're like the right side up or whatever. That's the hard. I just have them in stacks right now.
Yeah, if you're just sorting them to be where I think this is a good single slide or this is a lot slide, that's what I use that for. And then when I do my single slides, I scan them. And the hardest thing about scanning a slide, again, is knowing which one it is. And it's the shiny side goes down.
Okay.
That's all you need to know is the shiny side. Or it depends on your scanner. Some scanners it goes up, it goes down because you got what they call the emulsive. The emulsified side goes one way, and that's the matte side. So I mean, it's just you got to look at your scanner, and it'll tell you how they want them in there. It doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Honestly, on a cheap scanner. Oh, I already checked the price on that mitten stuff. It's $60 for a 5-piece setting. That's a consistent sold on eBay. So I don't really worry about replacement parts because they're pie in the sky pricing. I could sell them as individual pieces and do very well with it, but I'd rather sell it in 5 lots and be done with it than try to sell a plate here or a plate there. You know, what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping somebody's got the same pattern and they're looking to flesh out their set. They need a few more sets. And I'd rather do it that way because that means less 5 quick shipments instead of shipping a plate.
You doing okay, Valerie?
Mm-hmm.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just chilling.
Oh, you look tired.
Well, that yard work she did yesterday.
I did a lot of lawn yard work and I did a lot of listing
That's good.
yesterday, so
Yeah, I got to go buy mulch today and mulch up my front yard.
If you guys have thrift stores that usually have sales today might be a big sale day. I know my Salvation Army is having 50% off all the clothing.
I know that Valley Thrift here in Ohio, which I believe is a division of Savers, but I'm not 100% on that. They do a big sale on any holiday weekend. They do it on Sunday and Monday of the holiday weekend. I think it's 50%. It might only be 25, but I think it's 50% off. I have one here in town I don't usually go to. Because to me, at Valley Thrift, the prices are high.
Yeah. I'm not going to be going and buying clothing.
Um,
I have
but I'm pretty
plenty.
sure Savers, if you got a Savers near you, I think they do a holiday sale. Yeah, a lot of places do holiday sales, which is fine. I mean, no, I'm not buying clothing right now, so I'm not really worried about it. Grandma Classics says that she's going to set all her slides up for auction because you can't figure out the prices. It's kind of the way they sell.
I'm kind of at that point too, to where I don't even know what to
If you
list
got
them
something
for.
that's iconically cool, started at a little higher price. But if you're selling a single slide and you got $10 for that single slide, so if you start out at $9.99 instead of $4.99, because if you look at some of the big slide sellers, they start everything at auction and they do it at $4.99, and they charge uh, shipping on it as well, like $2 shipping. So if you sell it at $9.99, so if you had every cool slide that you had and sold it for $10, how much money would you make off your slides? I mean, think about that. You know, if I sold half my slides at $10 a piece, I'd have probably $10,000 in slides there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy when you think about that, how much slides you actually own. I mean, it's because you can accumulate slides like crazy. It does. Like I said, I have only bought like 7 or 8 lots of slides, but I've got so many in those lots. Yeah, 50s Japan, Disney, all those things. Yeah, I would do a
Dang.
lot of those individually because beach photos, if they have women in them, get crazy.
I have all the same things as hers, except mine's 1970s.
Oh, 70s are coming back. It's the red border stuff is the hottest stuff, only because it's good quality film and it's older.
Okay. I was wondering what that meant.
Yeah, that's if you look at there's actually websites you can go to that'll tell you about what the slide borders mean. So when you see somebody's listing it says red border, they're telling them it's a 1940 to 1957 or 58. It's in that period there.
Huh.
And usually it means it's a red border also denotes a type of film, and that film holds its color very well. If you have slides that have gone
Oh.
bright red or orangish, they've turned. They're no good anymore.
Yeah.
They're really only good as you can scan them in black and white. And you can get a decent photo out of them as a black and white. They're no longer really a color photo. They've lost all that color.
Right.
And I don't sell those. Usually I just pitch those because they're kind of ruined. But any other slide, you're great. I had one guy keeps asking me to send him. He wants me to buy a slide lot that I have. He wants me to send it to some freaking Pacific island I've never heard of that's not even a participant in the global shipping program.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm done with that one. The guy, every time it goes up, because I relist it, I said, dude, I don't ship anything outside of global shipping. I said, maybe you have a friend that can buy them here in the States, and I'll ship them to them, and then he can mail them to you. Because I'm not going through that hassle. I don't feel like doing it. It's probably not much of a big deal. I've never heard of this. I had to Google the freaking country he was asking me to send them to because I'd never heard of it before. And it's like a island out in the Solomon Islands out near bumfuck Egypt is all I got to say.
Yeah.
So not gonna mess with it. But yeah, with slides, you gotta get them up and listed. I mean, and again, run them at auction. If they sell, they don't. If they don't sell, you can run them again or put a $10 buy it now price on them, let them sit there, or you can just take them down and lot them up and sell them as a lot.
Yeah.
I got some great
I think
3D slides which are really cool. I need to really list those as a lot.
Yeah.
I could probably get $500 for them as a lot.
I don't really know if I want to lot all my Disney ones up because I have like the Disney ones that are from Disney, and then I have the Disney ones that are from where the people, took them with their camera.
The
And
ones that
so,
are from Disney, I would sell those separately, and they're not going to sell for a whole lot because everybody has those.
yeah,
It's the personal ones that are sold. That's the best ones.
yeah.
You doing a line of cocaine, Valerie?
What's that?
I just asked if you were doing some coke or something. I mean, the way your head was bent now.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Are you okay?
And you're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Looks like you need some cocaine or something. Or a nap. You ready for a nap?
That might be nap time for Valerie. So
I am ready for a nap, actually. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, slides are fun. They don't take up much space and they're easy to list.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And I like looking through the old slides. It's just some of them are really cool. I've got some pre-World War II slides with some fighter planes that are actually the old propeller fighter planes and stuff like that. And they're the Cessnas that were transformed into fighter planes and stuff like. I mean, it's just cool stuff. Yeah, those are the fun things. I got some 1939 Mardi Gras slides, some 1939 World's Fair slides. Those are really cool. Those are going to be decent when I finally get around to listing them because those are like trains. And the one train is they made it for the World's Fair and then they never went into service. Yeah, why do you get up at 5 every morning?
What?
Why do you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning?
I don't know. I just do.
Oh, that's okay. You're not trying to get up, you just wake up.
No, she has an alarm
I have
set.
an
Why do you
alarm.
set your alarm for 5 o'clock in the freaking morning? Nobody gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning unless they have a job to go to.
Well, I have a job to go to.
Yeah, but your job's not gonna. It's not gonna hurt your job to go to it at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, but it helps me. Like, I can take my time. I can get ready. I can sit and drink my tea and read my book and, just kind of relax. And then I can, when I
Yeah,
get
but you
stuff
have
done.
trouble falling asleep at night, right?
Yeah, I'm falling asleep at night.
Okay, but if you have trouble falling asleep at night, don't artificially shorten the time that you're asleep. I mean, get yourself up. Try moving it to 6 o'clock in the morning. Get that extra hour of sleep in there. You're not gonna miss anything in the day because you don't start the show
I
for 2
know.
more hours.
I know. I don't know. That's just what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, Tracy says it's right. When she gets up at 5 a.m., she rolls over until 7 a.m. That's the best way.
No, because then I'll sleep until 8:30 and then Sally will call me and say, "Hey, are we doing a show today?"
That's why you set your alarm for
That's
6
what
a.m.
will happen. No, then I messed up.
And she looks like she's seen a ghost.
You're supposed to come with the show with the hair all messed up like the rest of
No.
If
I
my hair
love
was
you too,
all
Grandma.
messed up, it would be messed up.
I have to have plenty. I don't now. If you see me with a hat on, you know what's up because I ain't had no time to fix the hair. So I just gave it away there. So, but yeah, I mean, I like to get up. I like to um, take my shower and get ready, and I do put makeup on and I do comb my hair, even though sometimes it doesn't look like it.
That's a planned mess. Then.
That's just what I do. And I don't know what, the whole thing is about waking up at 5, but I do it and I can get some stuff done before the show. And I like to do it because I like to get my shipping done before the show starts.
Oh, so I do my
So,
shipping later.
yeah, my mailman comes between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So I have to, either do it the night before or, the morning of. So,
So that's why I don't. My mailman's unreliable, so I go to the post office every day.
right.
There's days I don't get my mail.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because I for some reason I'm on a walking route, and so you get a lot of substitute mailmen.
Right.
I don't think I've had a permanent mailman more than a month or two before they get done with it, and so I can never depend on the mailman, and they would never pick up the packages. So I take it to a different post office. Even I didn't even go to my own home post office. My home post office sucks.
Right.
I go to a little tiny post office in a little tiny town. It's only about 2 miles from me, but it's like one of those two clerk post offices, and half the time you walk in there's one guy working.
Right.
But I love going to there because I am in and out in no time. And if I walk in with a basket of stuff and there's a big long line, I can turn around and hand the guy my whole basket and walk out, and he'll get it scanned.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So I mean
awesome.
I like doing that. And so what that means though is I don't start shipping really until about 1 o'clock. And
Right.
anything that sells that day before 2 o'clock, I'll ship the same day.
Right.
That's my cutoff time. It's got to be. It's got to have the sale and pay for before 2 o'clock. Just because I'm packing at that point, and I stop packing it after that point. So.
Right. Yep. But that's kind of. I know a lot of people say, why do you do that? But I don't know. I just do it. I like to have my time to wake up. I don't want to be. I've never been one to rush around. So I just get up in plenty of time and.
See, I'd rather rush. Whenever I have to work at the store, I get up 30 minutes before I have to be there.
Oh my gosh.
And I can shower within between 5 and 7 minutes. So, and it only takes me 2 minutes to drive there.
Yeah.
So
I'd be a mess.
No, I'm kind of the same way. If I know what time, if I got to leave it, like when I was at work, now I usually had somewhere between, when I worked at Ollie's, I had between a 25-minute drive to work or a 3.5-hour drive to work, depending on where I was going that day.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had the 3.5-hour drive, I had to be at work. Technically, half-hour drive time was what I was allotted to my home store, so that was my time. So if I had to be, and I had to be in the store at 9 o'clock when they opened up.
Right.
So if I had to be 3.5 hours away, well, I really didn't have to be there till noon. But to me, that kind of kills my day because I only get 5 hours to do what I need to do, and I usually need 8 hours to do my job. So I would leave a little bit earlier, like leave at 7 o'clock. I try to leave my house every day between 7 and 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if I got to one of my closer stores, I'd get there at 8. But I could get up at 6:45 and leave at 7. Because I'm on a mission. When I wake up, it's boom, boom, boom. I'm going in, getting the shower, getting dressed, and getting out the door. I'm picking up coffee on the way, breakfast on the way, or whatever. So that's just the way I think. Now I'm not that way anymore. But yeah, I'm a big move it and get moving type person.
Well, when I had my job, I had an hour commute, and so and it was like the worst time of the day, 8 o'clock, 7:45, 8 o'clock when all the traffic's bad and everything. So I basically, I would get up at 4:30 actually when I was working. I would get up at 4:30, and that way it'd give me time to. I'd usually give myself 30 minutes to wake up, drink my tea, my coffee or whatever, and then, kind of mosey around and get things done. And so, and that's just the way I like it.
Nothing wrong with a good habit.
But, by 10 o'clock, I am ready for a nap.
I'm ready for that about 1. I mean, I get up because I get up every morning at 6:45. So
yeah.
I'm Batwoman.
What?
Nothing. I found this in the storage unit. It's Batwoman.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Take you a minute. What are you?
That's not offensive at all.
Today's supposed to be sleep-in day, and I wake up to Valerie's like, I get up at 3:30 every morning or whatever. What are y'all doing on a holiday? Huh?
I don't sound like that.
I don't know. I don't know why I did that voice. You don't sound like that.
Okay.
yeah,
But for real.
Yeah, Megan was saying she used to have a boss that would send her emails at 4 o'clock in the morning, and when I worked at Ollie's, I had a BlackBerry before we switched to iPhones, and I would get emails all night long. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? At midnight, the phone gets put down, and I don't look at it until I get up in the morning at 6 o'clock, 6:30, whatever time I'm getting up. I'll look at it then, and I'll cover any craziness. Because I'm not. You can't live your life like that.
Right.
No, I used to get up at 5 every day. I loved the feeling. That was like my quiet time, and I'd go sit on the porch and drink coffee. Well, I smoked back then too, so that was like an incentive to get up. I think it was different though. Back when I smoked, because I'd wake up at at 5 or 6 o'clock, I'd be like, "Ooh, I need a cigarette." I think that was an incentive to get out of bed. That's what it is. I'm going to blame all my lazy habits now on the fact that I quit smoking. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, there you go.
I blame my lazy habits on my fat ass.
Huh?
I blame my lazy habits on my fat, lazy ass. So.
Dusty, I texted you a picture this morning. Oh my God, Mr. Sadie. I hadn't been up for 4 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. I just saw it a minute ago. I just didn't respond to it yet because I literally, like, I was talking to somebody about this last night. I'm like, listen, like on Facebook, if I read your message at 11:30 at night and it shows like read 11:30 at night, number one, I don't have push notifications turned on this. So if somebody Facebook messages me, I'm not going to get it until I open the app or I sit down at my desktop, which, by the way, my desktop stays open all the time. So I think, there's kind of this misconception that some people are on Facebook all the time. No, you just leave your computer open.
Right.
But sometimes I'll read a message if it's really late at night or whatever, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, I need to respond to that tomorrow. And then I'll just shut the app out, not respond right then. And I think somebody got a little bit upset because I didn't respond right away to something that they had sent. And then sometimes I do forget to go back and respond to things,
You're human.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. By the way, here's what Mr. Sadie sent me. What is that, a bass?
Yeah, it says 7-pound bass.
Dude, it's freaking, look at that. Well, you can't look.
Oh, yeah.
If I turn it sideways, it'll probably show up. Where the hell's my camera?
Yeah, looks good. Yeah.
You can't really see that it's fish, but
Big boy.
that's freaking awesome. But no, but then
I need to go
I
fishing.
don't know. It's like my father-in-law. I get really frustrated with him because he's one of these people that if his phone dings or somebody calls him, he has to answer it right then. It doesn't matter who he's busy with, whatever. And see, I think that's incredibly rude. If I'm sitting here with the four of y'all talking, we're all talking in my living room on the couch or whatever, and Jim Bennett calls me, unless it was a business, something I was really expecting and needed to take, I would, excuse myself and walk out of the room. But I'm not going to answer it. I'm not going to answer it while I'm sitting there with other people. To me, that sends a message of you're not as important as this phone call coming in. So
Right.
I think I kind of have this hang up thing because it drives me insane with my father-in-law that I like answer messages and emails and text messages on my own time.
Yeah.
Now it does get me in trouble because we had kind of an issue. Well, no, a family meeting. Let's just put it that way. Yesterday, because apparently I'm horrible.
What's that, Eric?
This is for Grandma Classics. This is what I review film with.
Oh.
And all it is you flip a light, and it's got a hand crank. You sit there and crank through your film and kind of see what it is. So that's how I look at 8mm film without having a projector.
Mr. Sadie just called me. Hold on, I need to get this. Mr. Sadie.
You're going to have to wait your turn.
Huh?
He's going to have to wait his turn.
I don't know what. I just think it's kind of like when you go out to eat with people and people are constantly like checking their phone, like, oh, their phone's dinging or whatever. It means more to me when I go out to eat with somebody that just takes their phone, and I know a few people that are like this, and they put it face down on the table, and there it sits the rest of the time you're eating with them. Yep. If there's some kind of an emergency, I mean, stop and think about it. What the hell did we ever do in the days before cell phones?
I had a beeper.
Well, I had a beeper too, but my father-in-law would be like, answer your phone. It could have been important. It could have been an emergency. And it's like, no, but it's not, It's not an emergency. We already know that. The one time you do have an emergency, you're really going to be in trouble,
See, for me, with my job, I had to answer my phone because, when you have that many people that are depending on you, and if they're calling you for a reason, you answer.
Get it.
But, I knew that at midnight, my store should have been closed. So after midnight, I didn't have to worry about answering the phone. But there were a couple of times where I missed a call that was important. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'm asleep. I mean, I'm only human.
Well, the other thing that drives me insane is my father-in-law refuses to let you know what it's about. You'll just get you need to call me immediately text. He will not tell you what it has to do with in a text message. And that drives me insane. Just tell me. Hey, or he'll like, here, let me go back through. We'll read all his messages out loud on it. Where is he? Okay. Yeah, it's like, call me when you have a minute. Just a couple things I need to run by you. Won't take but a minute or two. Thanks. Okay. Well, nothing with him ever takes just a minute or two. Like, seriously.
That's true.
Then the day before was like, oh, I have one more thing when you have a minute. Eric's heard him. Y'all haven't met him. I mean, he's a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but
No. I mean, Dusty. I kid you not, that we were in a hangout, and Dusty takes a phone call from his father. I got to take this, and we'll kind of walk away. He'll mute the sound so I don't hear anything. But it's like 35 minutes later. I look up, he's finally sitting back down. He's just like, oh.
And my mouth will never move. You don't get a word in edgewise. Here we go. No couple. One night I said, "Hey, sorry, didn't missed your call. Went to bed early and woke up. I'm exhausted and now running around. Tried to play catch up on my shipping. Is it an emergency? No. Couple questions. Call when you have a minute." It's like, you blew up my. Now you won't even tell me what it is. Tell me what you need. I think that's something I'm just going to say. You know what? From now on, if you don't tell me, I'm not going to answer the phone.
Right. I need to know what this is about.
You need to preface all your phone calls with a narrative of what your phone call is going to be concerning.
So I need an outline, a breakdown. It'd be great if you put an outline form and then I can fill it out later.
No element of surprise.
And I was a big. I mean, if you send me an email, I would get it on my phone. So if you have something that doesn't require my immediate reaction, send me an email.
Yeah.
So I can at my leisure and I'll get back with you. If it's something that you need me for or you have to call me for, then you better pick up the phone and call me. I mean, there's many a time a store would be closing and they couldn't get their books to balance, and so they'd be calling me at 10:30 at night, and I'd have them, emailing me their paperwork so I could actually do their paperwork at home to figure out where they made a mistake and sending it back to them. Like, here's where your mistake was. So that was not unusual.
Excuse me.
Where's the petrified forest?
It's in New Mexico, isn't it? Or Arizona? I think it's New Mexico. I've been there. I don't remember. It's been so long. So it's cool.
They had one in Oregon.
Petrified Forest. It's in Arizona. Petrified Forest National Park is in Arizona.
Okay.
Huh.
It's a really cool place when they've got giant petrified logs. It's illegal to pick up any petrified wood there out in the natural state, but you can buy petrified wood in their gift shop.
Well, they're having a land sale today, and you can live in a desert paradise. I don't know. I got an email from Auction Zip. Apparently, that's what they do on Memorial Day, is auction off land.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
Well, here it's only at $60.
For how much? For an acre?
1.14 acres.
That's kind of cool. Got a kind of a crazy estimate when they're talking 8,000 to 10,000. I got 2 full days left, so.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
I just got here.
Well, I know you need to get here earlier.
You need to quit getting up at 5.
Oh, that's funny.
I was sleeping so good.
My sleeping is actually getting better though,
That's-
because I was only getting about 3 hours of sleep, so I'm
Mhm.
actually getting a good 5 hours of sleep. But
Yeah, there's also a $695 document processing fee for that lot.
They don't even tell what town it is in.
They don't have. Well, what's worse is they don't tell you any of the covenants for the lot either. You know, which. All right, peace.
all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. So I will see y'all later. We'll see you tomorrow, and
Yep.
have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.